Welcome to Been There, Done That, Now What? I am Terry.
And I'm Claire, and this is a podcast where we talk about life, recovery, neurodiversity, ADHD,
and the messy middle.
the messy middle, everything in between.
Back in our comfy studio.
On the couch.
How's your week been?
Yeah, peaks and troughs, I think they call it, Tel.
Yeah,
Yeah, peaks and troughs. I'm at a strange place, I've got to be honest.
social anxiety is what you was talking about earlier. Let's touch
Social
on that.
anxiety.
What's been going on there?
Do you know what? Social anxiety is something, I didn't really think applied to me. And yet now, it's something that is kind of taking over my life, Tel, if I'll be honest.
Do you want to explain what it is to the viewers?
Obviously, everyone's going to have a different idea and a different experience. But for me, it is like, I'll do the things I've got to do, just about. I'm showing up for uni, showing up here for podcasts. I'm doing the things that I've got booked in, mostly. And then everything in between. It's like I'm using up all my energy for those things. And then people are contacting me and I just can't. I don't know what it is. I keep looking into it. It's like I can't respond. I can't reach out. It's another thing, isn't it? Like in AA and stuff, when you're feeling wobbly, one of the things they say is,
Pick up
the phone. They say pick up the phone before you pick up a drink. And I don't necessarily feel I'm in danger of picking up a drink. That's not how I feel. It's not like I need to get out of it. If anything, at the moment, I feel like I need to understand this because it's like a cycle. It's like someone messages me or calls me, people who I love, people I've got good relationships with until I'm doing all this, It's getting worse and worse. It's like I can't reach out or I can't reach back out. Then I'm kind of doing a shame cycle, which is where I start then thinking, oh my God, now I've left it too late. I can't possibly contact them. And it's getting later and later and later. And for some reason, then I'm in the loop. And then not just in the loop, then part of that is literally trying to interrupt myself going, oh, you're just a terrible person. Do you know what? And this is really weird. This is really weird. And maybe it's a little bit too like, ugh. But even this morning, thinking about someone, and I caught myself while I was making coffee, say to myself, well, you're just a monster, aren't you? And I was like, oh God, that is so
strong.
harsh and out of context. And because it's getting harder and harder, now I'm like, oh my God, I'm such a shit friend and I'm such a this and it's that real self-judgment.
It's all that bad, what's it called, the negative talk to yourself.
That negative self-talk that then eats into self-esteem.
Because you've also got, we spoke about this before with your mates know you.
Yeah,
so they wouldn't be holding anything against you either.
But saying that, it is hard for them not to take it. Personally, and I'm so quick to say to everyone, don't take it personally. Don't take it personally. This is a me and not you. But still, obviously, when you're in relationship with people and suddenly they effectively disappear, I'm not showing an interest. I'm not answering. I've dropped off the face of the earth by all accounts. And it's like I get frozen in it, Tel. Something I'm still trying to understand. I'm frantically kind of Googling and chat GPT and like, what is it? And from what I've researched, and there's lots of things that possibly feed into it. And there's lots of things. So for example, like obviously ADHD and overwhelm, my mental health, I've struggled with my mental health all of my life. I've struggled with the waves of depression and euphoria and burnout. Obviously, I've been giving a lot, and the last few years, a lot of breakdowns in my relationships and losing my dad last year. Pause and stresses. And since COVID, a lot of people are a lot more insular and it's affected our relationship. So I feel like, Tel, there's possibly a lot of things feeding into it. But I feel like I'm still missing the part that goes, this is why you're doing it.
I mean, because you're not alone for sure. I mean, what you're describing, I do as well.
Okay.
And I know that other ADHDs do the same thing. And when it goes by too long, you find it hard to then, because it's been too long, how do you then go back to a
Yeah.
message or ring or call and it is that vicious cycle. You know, you do a lot, you know what I mean? And I think with us, because we take on so much and say yes and do a lot, just keep running with it,
Mm.
we lose track of time,
Yeah.
what's important to us, because
Uh-huh.
we're always on the go.
Yeah.
And then it's that beating yourself up part of
Oh
it,
God, it's
which if
awful.
to do that more and more, you don't ever get out of it. You know what I
No,
mean?
no. And I feel so locked into it. When I say, I'm like, right, I'm gonna call these people, I'm gonna text back these people, or I'm gonna at least say I'm struggling. But it's finding the words and it's doing it. It's like there's a
Yeah,
physical
yeah.
a block, and I'm kind of like, how ridiculous is
And you can
that?
go through their messages in other
Oh,
people and just it's hard.
and these are
It is like a
wonderful
magnet or
people.
something.
Yeah, I don't understand. But there is even like, oh, talking about it, I can feel like the emotion that
Yeah,
something that I need to explore here, definitely. Because I think, yeah, always doing, always being, trying to give, often to capacity, isn't
yeah,
it? Even if it's just that masking. Tell me about your life. And I'll just
yeah.
be like, oh, yeah, busy,
If it's
busy. Going home and be like,
you'll find
nothing
that as
left.
well. I can't. I find it hard to call and say when you're struggling. Just talking about it does help. It does,
It
because you
does.
start shifting, because then you start, clearing your mind a little.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
I've been there hundreds of times, and hearing you talk about it just reflects on me when I do it myself.
It's painful, isn't
It
it? It's
is.
actually painful. And it
However,
causes
the more you
problems.
beat yourself up,
Oh, the
is the worse
harder
it
it
gets.
is.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. So
calling myself a
you
monster,
really
it
got to
feels
stop. You got to
really like,
try your best to start
yeah,
trying to
interrupt.
mind flip it. So
Mm,
you're not a monster. You're
yeah.
just busy. You know what I mean? And, you got to start
Exhausted. It
exhausted. Like you
feels
say, you are doing a lot of stuff, and you're doing a lot of good in the world as well. You know what I mean?
it. It
Definitely.
doesn't feel like that
Yeah,
though,
but you
does
are. You
it?
know what I mean? You gotta stop beating yourself up, because you keep beating yourself up, you're never gonna get out of it.
Yeah, I wonder if,
You was on the
like, because I
Richmond Park yesterday,
know,
weren't you?
yeah, doing my conservation
Yeah, good stuff. You
studies,
know what I mean?
like,
And
I'm wondering, see, I've heard other things as well about people who withdraw when they don't feel good, when they're struggling with stress or depression, anxiety, is because that's how you grew up having to deal with your stuff. You had to, if you don't have, for whatever reason, problems within families, etc.,
keep it to
or
yourself.
just parents who weren't shown how to regulate, how to deal with life
Yeah.
themselves, who were just
Same.
doing the best,
Yeah, yeah.
absolutely doing their best, but not able to pass on skills to deal with relationship problems and
Mm,
stuff. And also, I think moving around in those formative years, schools and houses and things and friends and men, I never dealt with stuff. I never learned who I was in relationship.
mm,
And it's not an excuse, but when you think, you're looking for these things, and I suppose addiction as well. It's one of those things I'd retreat and hide.
mm.
And yeah, and I'm a bit stuck with it.
Well, you're 3 years, 2 years, 3 years now, aren't you?
No, it would be
Two and a
three.
half.
Yeah, two and a half.
Because I think, again, so I remember our friend going through the same sort of stuff as well. And I think it's a transitional thing as well. Again, with all the changes, like you just described then, not knowing who you really are, not dealing with stuff when you're younger. Again, it was like feelings and all that sort of stuff was never touched
Oh,
upon. So
yeah.
you just dealt with it however,
By hiding,
hiding
basically,
or going out and
masking.
getting off your
Yeah,
face, you know what I mean?
exactly.
And now
Another
you can't
form.
do that now. So you are having to sit there with thoughts, your feelings.
Mm.
And I think it's just a process that you go through. I think
Yeah.
with all of these, because there's lots of time. There was one time when I had so much ADHD on me, I'm sick,
Mm.
and I'd been taking a lot of reels and all this sort of information.
I
But
think there's
eventually,
more.
you sort of get out the other side of it as if you're shedding your skin, and you're like, all right, and you just sort of get through it. So maybe you're
I
just
hope
coming through a
so.
process where you've got all this going on, you're understanding it, you know what you're doing, and you're seeing it, but, and it's just wading through because you've been doing all your exams, you've been doing, you've got a lot on your plate, and I think with ADHD is we just forget about all the stuff that we're doing. We just
Just
concentrate
on
on
to
the,
the next, isn't it?
but we
On to the
also
next and on
concentrate
to the.
on what we ain't doing,
Yes.
and then that piles on, and you're forgetting all about all the
Yeah.
stuff that you're doing very well, and it's taking a lot of your brain up as well. You know what I
Mm.
mean? There's a lot of energy you're using on all your coursework and your exams,
Yeah.
and all your and making sure other people are all right when you're meeting. Making sure they're all right and not worrying about yourself, because
Mm.
it's easier to help somebody else than it is
Isn't it?
to
To focus on someone else.
exactly.
It is causing problems in my relationships, and not just the people who are close to me, but sort of like, you have like circles, don't you, of people that have come
Mm,
in and significant but aren't
yeah,
like
yeah.
in the inner circle sort of thing. People who are still very close to my heart and stuff. And then I'm being
Life is
supportive,
tough.
being a
Yeah, yeah,
friend,
yeah.
and then I just vanish. And I think to myself, why not just respond and say, I've got your message. Thank you. Going to get back to you. Just give me a bit of time. But I'm constantly going, right, I'm going to sit down later and give them this. I wonder, yeah, if it's about always trying to do our best as well,
Yeah.
not just sending that text because it's not enough.
I was going to
Going
say that.
later, I'm going to sit down for half an hour, and it just never.
Yeah, I think it's just about being a bit more kinder on yourself. You haven't got back to him. All right, ain't the end of the world. You know what I mean? They might be, they might be a bit pissed off about it, or they might not be. You know what I mean? They might just think, oh, that's fair, or
It's letting people down, isn't it? And I do worry about then people feeling like, oh, have I done something, and holding that, because a lot of my really good friends are beautiful, sensitive, big-hearted people,
mm,
who are going to be self-reflective and are going to go, I know she gets like this, but have I upset her? Have I done something? Should I do more? I know there's been times where I've dropped out so badly that people have wondered whether they should, get into my house and start calling my family and be like, is she right? I need to check on Claire. And I've got one really good friend who we both know, Todd, and we have a good understanding about, psychological aspects. And he in the past has said to me, just give me a thumbs up. Let me know you're all. That feels more achievable,
yeah, because it's just a one quick
but it takes someone to
to
understand
understand.
that, to
Yeah,
come
yeah,
through the silence with understanding and go, I just need to know, because if you're not, then I'll take an action sort of thing.
yeah,
But
yeah,
it's God, it's tough. It is good, like hearing, like you say, you understand, because at the moment it feels like a shameful secret, and I can feel myself getting emotional. So,
yeah.
but it
It's
is. It's
it,
like it's
it
not who I want to
is
present.
nah, but it's across the board. You know what I mean? I've spoke to loads of people that do the same, have the same feelings, thoughts. And I think that's just the way we're programmed and wired up, you know what I mean? So
Mm,
it's just about changing, trying to flip your mind, flip your mindset and just say, all right, well, it's done. Not a
yeah,
lot you can do about it now, but you could just go back later and just say, sorry, I ain't been in touch. It's just been, because
yeah.
now you've got it out of you a bit now. It's just, all right, I can just go and tackle, just send
I
one.
do feel like that sometimes. I'm like, look, just these are good people. Just say, oh, and
Been
then
in the
the
bad.
wall's there again,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's
yeah.
just so. It was something you said actually on a previous episode we did, where you said you felt like you had nothing to bring to the table, and I was thinking that landed with me, because I feel like if I can't bring my best self,
Yeah, yeah. What you got?
yeah, or at least to present, you know, if the energy, the capacity, the
Don't
resources
expect.
to at least pretend to be my best self. And
Yeah.
when there's nothing in the tank and I can't bring any version of that, being vulnerable, isn't it?
And
So
maybe it is better
interesting.
waiting until you do feel back at your best. And then that's when you can then say, 'cause when you're feeling better, you'll be able to say, look, sorry, I've just been in a bit of a bad.
Yeah.
And I'll say, the amount of times, and it gets to me quite a lot because the amount of times I apologise.
Oh God, yeah.
You know what I
I'm
mean?
sorry. I'm a
It's
sorry ass
so frustrating. I'm sorry that I
mofo.
haven't been in touch.
Yeah.
Sorry that I ain't got back to you soon. I'm
Sorry,
sorry.
yeah.
It's sorry all the time. And,
Oh,
you know, and I am sorry, but it's just like, how many times? I'd rather not have to do sorries all
I
the time
know, me
because
too.
it puts you on a sort of back foot.
Yeah, it's
But
like,
I'm very much better at saying, oh, I'm sorry I ain't got back to you when I'm feeling in a better place. You know what I mean? When you're feeling in that hole that you're in,
yeah.
there's no way of getting out of it really by trying to tackle it like that.
Yeah,
I think
especially with the judgment on your back. I
I
mean,
think it's
what is
more
that all
about,
about?
know where they
So,
say on the if the plane's going down, not the one I'm going on to, but you know, you have to do your own gas before you do your kids or whatever, your
yeah,
own
yeah, your
air
air
and that.
mask. Mhm.
The same thing, I suppose, with this. You know, you just got to make sure when you're back, because you know you burn. It sounds like you're burning out. You've just done
Yeah,
too much. You know, you're not getting enough you time, rest, or whatever. And I think once you start getting a bit more rest, and that you start feeling yourself again,
I
and then that's
feel
when you can
like
go back to tackle
I've got
whatever's
these
been
last 4 months of my course, and I feel like
doing a lot.
it's a it's going to be a big one now. I've got a 12-week placement coming up in a psychiatric hospital. Got my last essays to do and to pass and jump through the final hoops to get signed off.
So you need to regenerate before that starts.
Yeah, I
Because you
need to
can't go
find a
into it
way.
feeling how you're feeling at the moment.
Yeah.
Or give yourself bit more credit, a bit more
Yeah.
time, and you just got affirmations. You know what I mean? Start being a bit more kinder to yourself. You're doing great. You know
Thanks,
what I mean?
Jack.
So you've got to be more kind on yourself for sure. When's your 12-week placement start?
Start of May.
Just try and take it easy this month. You know?
Yeah, I've got to get to the bottom of this because I can't let this drag over because it's weighing on me so much. And I was like, oh God, social anxiety. It seems like something.
I don't think it's something you're just going to be able to, you know what I mean? I think it's just something you work with over the next. No, it's just saying it because I've had it. I've been there, like, where I just think like, is this how it's always going to be like? But
Mm,
it's not. It is a phase. It is a stage of, you know, and you will figure out, and you'll still get it. But you just again, we're talking about a ton of tolerance yesterday.
yeah,
Because again, it's the highs and lows, the big crashes. And when you're in a crash, that's when everything's a bit more darker and a bit more heavy than what it
yeah,
usually is.
yeah, you're right. It does seem worse,
Yeah.
doesn't it? And
As soon as
then
you start sort of coming back up again,
mm,
you'll be able to
feels
tackle it. And
manageable.
yeah, I don't think you'll be in such a darker place. And I'm, you know, it's hard that you're there talking to you about it now, but you won't be there forever.
No,
As that annoying saying is, this too shall
shall
pass.
it certainly will. At least I hope it will.
Of course it will.
But I think talking
Talking
about
about it
it, and
helps.
I know that in a logical
Mm. But again, what we
experience.
know is good for us doesn't mean nothing.
I
You know, the amount of times the amount of times eventually when I do reach out or I sit down and have a one-to-one with someone or talk about it, I'm like, I'll just do that a month ago.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Even
exactly.
though I know that I should be doing this, doing that, I just don't do it because something stops me doing it.
Mm,
It's
mm.
frustrating, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like making things even more difficult. And I don't know if that is part of, because I've always thought that addiction is on the same kind of thread as self-harming. It's that, certainly for me anyway, my kind of alcoholism is about obliterating myself.
Mm.
It's about switching Claire off, which is heavily self-esteem based,
Yeah,
isn't
yeah,
it?
yeah.
I don't like myself.
Mm.
Like,
Well, you know, we've got
get
to
rid
work
of
on
it.
yourself, haven't you? You've got to
Yeah.
work on being kinder and loving yourself.
But
Which you can do. I know you can because,
it's
you know,
how, like we say, that self-awareness.
yeah,
And
yeah.
one of my sponsors used to say to me, if you want self-esteem, you've got to do esteemable things. And I feel like, how fucking many esteemable things are we talking here? Because I feel like I've been volunteering for years. I've been giving
Yeah.
my time. I try and be, and I'm not always succeeding. Oh, Certainly not always succeeding.
But again,
Is that going to balance?
because you're doing so much, you know what I mean?
And it's not necessarily helping the self-esteem.
Mm.
So I wonder what is. And think all these little things as well, like having people withdraw of their own stuff, you know, from my life and pass away, and sudden relationship breakups, all that kind of abandonment shit and all that. All these things then kind of like reinforce I'm a bad person. That kind of stuff. I shoulda, woulda, coulda, all that. It's like, oh, make it stop.
Yeah.
No wonder I was an alcoholic. It's like just
to
it's
shut it
nuts
up.
in it.
Yeah. But yeah, we got to find you some good affirmations for you to listen to.
Yeah, you think
Just to
affirmations?
drum it into your
Yeah, what is that? A freaking monster, That is, you're just a monster, aren't you? Muttering away to myself, stirring my coffee like a lunatic.
Yeah, lunatic, I'll give you that one.
Oh, tell. Why has it got to be so complicated?
Exactly, it's not easy, is it?
No.
No.
I like the way they call like AA and the 12-step programs, like simple programs for complicated people. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
It is a simple program, but again, it's not as simple as when you've got the other stuff going on.
Yeah.
But it's simple sometimes.
Simple sometimes?
Yeah. Simple is, simple does. Well, I suppose that's out to the viewers as well. Has any of this podcast struck a nerve?
Yeah, it feels very real. I know we've spoke before about this podcast kind of stretching us, and I feel that was a
Stretch.
big one for me. So thank you.
Thank you for opening up.
I appreciate you.
Yes, it's always lovely talking with you, Claire. And if you've got any questions, or you're going through the same thing, or you've got anything that helps, then direct message us, like and subscribe.
Yes, please.
Same place, same time next week. Well, we say same time, same place next week. We have got ADHD.
This is ADHD.
Sometimes they might be a couple of days late, sometimes a week late, but they will be there, and we are going to be live and direct all the time, every week. Not always live, that's not right. I was just saying live and direct, that was not bad, isn't it? Live and direct. But yeah, we are going to be here weekly. And we are going to have times when we're going to be opening up, as Claire has done today. Interact with us. Anything you want to say?
That's it, Tel. Thank you.
Peace.
Back at you.